Shalom, everyone that's listening, everyone that knew Adam Nathan. It's 1 year since he passed away. It's his first yartzeit since he had passed away. And many of you listening would know him. Many of you would not know him, but I would say definitely a few words within regards to his kind heart. He left his wife and also was 3 daughters. A 4th daughter was born shortly after he passed away. So 4 daughters. And was very, very sad news, totally sudden, that he passed away in very early 40s he was, and very, very kind-hearted person. I want to share over just a couple of things within regards to his kind-hearted nature, because the whole time he was very, very loyal to many people. Many people saw him as a loyal friend. He was very kind-hearted. He didn't publicize the mitzvot he was doing in general. He usually did any of the mitzvot he did. He would try and do it beseta, which because they say that is in secret, and that's one of the highest levels of doing a mitzvah is when you don't publicize it necessarily. You do it so that you don't get the recognition for it, and that epitomized Adam Nathan. Avraham Ben Beracha would be his full Hebrew name. And something I remember when I was in the Shiva after he passed away a year ago, all over the house there was different paintings, and one of the paintings that very much was in his house, a large painting of an Israeli soldier with his arms around a Haredi person, an ultra-Orthodox person wearing a black hat. And that's, this was 1 year ago. And if you go to most people's houses in Israel, in England, Jewish houses, unfortunately you wouldn't see necessarily these sort of paintings or pictures. But it was in his house. It was important to him because he looked at everyone inside. It didn't matter what someone was wearing, whatever strand of Judaism they were in. And we're in a time and age, a very, very troubled time, since 7th of October, where all of a sudden there was divisions before. There's always been divisions, unfortunately, in many of the spheres. But however, since the 7th of October, you see now a lot of images where ultra-Orthodox people will now, inside the weddings, the first song they're going to request and scream for is to sing the Hatikva. A lot of people are volunteering a lot. A lot of ultra-Orthodox have drafted into the army over the last month. Also, volunteering, helping in the fields, the amounts of food that's been cooked, garments that have been made, money that's been donated from all the spheres of Judaism has very much occurred since the 7th of October, where everyone, especially in Israel and all over the Jewish world, is united, whatever hashkafa the person is, whether they are culturally Jewish, whether someone is very religious, where someone is modern Orthodox, whatever strand is, someone might be totally secular. There's that feeling at the moment of huge achdut at the moment, and that's epitomized Adam Nathan. He was a guy that he didn't look at what was outside of the person, what it was. He wanted to feel the person, the inside of the person, the pnimut. He felt it for every single person, and would give anyone the time of day. Anyone he would, any person, he was very, very loyal. And I remember I saw him just 24 hours before he sadly was taken, around 24 hours sadly before he was taken in the world. It was the first time I saw him in a significant period. He lived near me in the same city in Israel, but I didn't get to see much of him. And I had a deep conversation with him in those last few minutes where he was... we were speaking to each other, and then I didn't see him, and lo and behold, there was terrible news the next day. Very, very sad news. But especially, I remember in his funeral, several people spoke, several very important people spoke, and all had very, very good memories of him, about the kind-hearted nature of Adam Nathan, what he very much epitomized. I met him through my friend who also passed away 17 and a half years ago, Ben Bernstein, and he was a very close friend of Adam. And so Adam used to come when I was studying in Liverpool in the university. He'd come for Shabbat. He would come for different meals. He would come to events. And I remember at the time, sadly after Ben had passed away, this was 17 and a half years ago, Adam, he organized Mishnayot for everyone to learn. I remember at the time he was calling every single person, and I think it was maybe around on the Shloshim, we did, in memory of Ben, the whole of the Mishnayot was covered, and Adam very much organized that. Adam was in the forefront of everything. I remember when I got engaged, it was my engagement party. We're talking about back in June 2010. This was 13 and a half years ago or something. He came that day. He was the last one to leave. He was with us. He took photos, and he was there. I felt like, the night wouldn't have been the same without him, because he was one of the first, and he was the last one to leave on that specific night. And this was him. Whenever you saw him straight away, there'll be like, it wouldn't just be like sometimes a hi and bye thing, which many people would have. Automatically, there was a deep conversation with him. There was like that. There was that connection where he cared about the people so much. He valued it. There wasn't a time limit in a conversation with him. You could sit in the room and he would start speaking, engaging for an hour, 2 hours with the person. He could give the person, all the time in the world. That was very much him. And that's not with every single person. A lot of people, there's hi and bye. It's not, but with him, that there was that loyalty, and there was a lot of good memories within regards to him during the Shiva. I remember at that point in time, and he did a lot for the community. He did a lot. He did a lot for the people in general, and very sad. He left 4 young daughters, a wife, and they're all living in a religious neighborhood in Ramat Bet Shemesh. And one thing he did also was he loved Israel. He came from England and sacrificed a lot and moved to Israel. It was his dream at the time, and it would have pained him at the moment to see Israel in the situation it is, where there's a lack of support, let's just say, from the entire international community, from all the different nations, for Israel, what it suffered. And he was there. I remember, I think he used to be active whenever there was, let's say, a small rally going on in a pro-Israel rally in England. This was, we're talking about 15, 17, 18 years ago. He would join in, because that's how important it is, to stand up, to advocate for Israel. One of the greatest mitzvot we see at the moment that people can do is to advocate for Israel, because unfortunately the people in the international community aren't doing it so much. There's a lot of anti-Semitism out there, anti-Zionism. But Adam was there. He was in the forefront. He would go and support in the pro-Israel rallies. A lot of them he did. And he stuck up to what was important at that point in time. And we lost him a year ago. The yartzeit, this week it was a Parshat Toldot. And we're going to go into next week into Parshat Vayetzeh. And it's already a year ago. So my message to all of you is, let's do a lot of acts of kindness in his memory. Whatever we can do, light candles this weekend. Whatever good deeds we can do to perpetuate his chesed, his kindness that he did. It's very, very advisable. And one thing we can do is, I would recommend to everyone out there, get a achdut. If you're not connected with someone is totally different to you personally, try and engage with those different people, just like Adam did. Adam was, there was no barriers with Adam. One thing about Adam is, which is different to the situation at the moment, it's taken, unfortunately, such a great tragedy on the 7th of October to unite all of us and stuff like that. But with Adam, those barriers was not there, where he would see someone as different. He would just unite with everyone. He wanted to connect with everyone, whatever they were. It didn't take something significant for him to connect with other people. He would just not care who the person is and try and engage with those people. And that's what we should do. We see someone that might be different. Let's make an extra effort with that person. Engage with them, speak to them. Make them feel good about themselves. Cheer them up. We see someone is down, try and cheer them up, spend some time. If you see someone's in the corner, then specifically go to that person and speak to him. And that's important. That epitomized Adam, the deep conversations, the deepness to him, but also the kindness that he did. And one thing about him, it wasn't he didn't announce all the good deeds he did. He would do it quietly, simply. And we actually came out of the Parshiot of Chai Sarah only 2 weeks ago. Only last week it was. Where there was a person of the name Ephron Achiti, where he just spoke, but he didn't do. But then there was an Avraham Avinu that said, said very little but did a lot. And how did we see that? We see at the start of Parshat Vayera, when the guests come in, straight away invites them in, he brings them in, and he's not all talk, he does actually the mitzvot. It's about doing the things, not about talking and showing off about the things. And that was Adam Nathan. So yeah, I wish his family, all relatives, a long life. You know, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to see Besorot Tovot in Israel, and let's all do good deeds in his memory. And please watch over the video I did last year. I shared over some other memories some of his close friends said in that. I'll try and put a link of that in this video. So let's all have a meaningful week and hear good things also from Israel, and brachot and shalom. Take care.